Hey, everybody, it's Dr. Nicole Bonner with Thrive Chiropractic Coaching, and today is the Wednesday workshop. So, we're going to pick up where we left off last week. We were talking about 15 steps or 15 things that if you did these 15 things in your practice, you would be sure to go to the next level. Whether you are opening a practice and you are just now starting to see patients, shoot, man, if you knew these 15 things, if you do these 15 steps, you will be so far ahead of the game. I know doctors that are in chiropractic for over 20 years that don't know some of these communication things that I'm teaching you today, and it will just put you so ahead of the game. If you are a chiropractor who has been in practice for a while, maybe you've been in practice for 5 years or 6 years, and nobody's ever taught you how to do higher level communication, how to increase your sales and conversions, and how to keep people for a lifetime. Then this is the kind of stuff that you want to be on. This is the kind of stuff you want to immerse yourself in. You want to be on our page. You want to be in our group. You want to be commenting and interacting. There are over 450 people in this group, and all of them are chiropractors. A majority of them, or a big portion of them, are chiropractors that have been in this field for a very long time, multiple decades. So if there's one place that you can count on to go to learn about how to do this kind of stuff, all practice things, it is the group Turning Students and Chiropractors into Business Owners. So let's get at it. The reason why we do Wednesday workshops is because it is the middle of the week. And if you guys are anything like me, then you know that Wednesday is hump day for a reason. It's called hump day for a reason, right? And so we always want to give you a little juice in the middle of the week to make sure that you finish your week strong. Make sure that you have your Thursday and your Friday finishers. Those are your tasks or your things on your list that you absolutely have to get done by the end of the week to push the needle forward, to grow your practice, and to go to the next level. All right, guys, so we're going to pick up with these 15 steps. We're going to go to the next 4 things. We're going to tackle 4 steps today, okay? And the first one that we're going to tackle today is before I go in with any new patient, before my hand even touches the door, I want to be clear in my mind's eye about my intention, about what my intention is for the outcome for this patient. Now, most of you might already be thinking, well, doc, isn't your intention to sell the patient? Isn't your intention to close the patient? Isn't your intention for the patient to sign up for care? And I would say that all of those things are true, but that's not my big why. It's not my big picture. It's not my real intention. My real intention, or the outcome that I want to see even before I actually see the patient, is creating a lifelong relationship with that patient. It is creating a relationship of trust, sincerity, authenticity, empathy. It's creating a relationship that patient is naturally and organically going to want me and my team to check their family. So that's my intention going into this, is creating a family atmosphere in my practice. And also number three is creating intentionally going in to create a lifestyle culture. What does that mean? That means that my intention is to shift their belief system, that they're in my office for pain relief or for musculoskeletal problems, and shifting that to a belief system that they're in my office for overall wellness, health, healing, quality of life, and optimizing their body, optimizing their life and their living. Remember that whether they convert or not, it is not up to you. That may be what you want for them, but you have to remember that everyone walks their own path. Everyone has their own path. So what you may want for a person may not be what they want for themselves. So just remember that everyone has their own path, and that is okay. That's why God gave us free will, right? And so be okay with that. Be okay with the fact that not everybody wants to live the same life you want to live. And then that brings me into the next thing, or the next step that I want to teach you about. And the next step is to find out then what it is that they really want. So what does that mean? And you're probably thinking, well, doc, doesn't everybody want to get rid of their pain, right? Because the truth of the matter is that if you ask your patients, and you should try this if you're not doing this already, you start doing this tomorrow, but ask your patients, do you want to correct this problem? And most of the time they're going to say yes, but ask them why. Okay. And their first initial gut reaction is they're probably going to say, because I want to get rid of the pain. Well, you have to dig deeper than the pain. The pain is a very short-term goal that they want to get rid of. That's a short-term goal for them. Why? Because we all know that in just a couple of adjustments, their pain might even go away altogether, right? And so that is a short-term goal for them. It's also probably a very surfacey type of goal. The bigger question is, well, why do they want their pain to go away? What is that going to do for them emotionally, mentally, psychologically, on a psychological level? What is their bigger vision for themselves? What is their deeper desire than just getting rid of pain? Who do they see themselves as, right? Why? That's important, because you have to be able to paint a picture for the patient of who they are as a subluxated person versus who they are as a non-subluxated person, right? That's a very big difference. Wouldn't you guys agree? If you guys are watching this right now and this is providing value for you, please let me know in the comments. Shoot some comments if you're agreeing with or you're resonating with what I'm saying, if this stuff all makes sense to you. So to find a stronger want, to find a deeper desire, I typically have to ask the patient maybe 3 times why it's important to them that they correct their problem now. And by the 3rd time, maybe even the 4th time, that deeper desire is going to come out. It might look like something like, well, when I was growing up, my grandparent died early, and I never really had the opportunity to build a strong relationship or spend time with that grandparent. And I just had my first grandparent, and I want to make sure that I'm there for my grandchildren, to set a good example, to be active with them, to have adventures with them. I want to be the cool, young, and youthful grandparent, right? Now you have a deeper desire. Now you have a deeper why of why they should commit to your care, why they should buy your care plan and convert into your program. Now you have a deeper reason for they have a deeper why as to why they should choose you as their leader in healthcare, because that's essentially what they're doing, aren't they? When they convert into your care, they're essentially saying, you know what? I trust that you can give me what I want. You can solve my problem, right? You can figure out what it is that I really want, and you can give me a solution to my problem, because that's what they're really buying. See, when you understand that you're not really selling chiropractic, you're really selling their transformation, that's when it's all going to make the biggest difference in the world for you, because they're going to buy their transformation. Okay. So if you can't give them what they want, then be honest with them and be direct with them and let them know that you can't, but you can send them to somebody who can. Guys, don't be afraid to refer to another chiropractor. Does everybody need chiropractic? Say yes. Please put in the comments right now. Yes, please write yes right now. Everybody on the planet who has a spine, who has a nervous system, who's alive, needs to be checked for subluxation. Why? Because humanity will be better for it. But Does everybody have to be doing that in your office? And the answer is no. No, you don't. You may not be the right chiropractor for every single person on the planet, right? So direct them to somebody who is, right? Don't be afraid to do that. So how do you do this? Like, how do you pull out somebody's deepest desires? Have you ever had the experience where you were going through a case history or a consultation, and all they wanted to do was just telling you about their back pain, and anytime that you asked about anything else, lifestyle or health rituals or organ problems, they just dismissed you and they're like, no, 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 that's fine, but really, doc, I'm here because of my neck pain. Have you ever had that experience? Well, if you have, the reason why you've had that experience is because of step number 3 that we're going to talk about today, is because you didn't take the time to build a rapport with the patient. So it's very important that you build a relationship with the patient. That's why one of my number one intentions going into the room with a new patient is, my intention is to just build a relationship. It's not to convince them to buy care. It's not to convince them to have chiropractic. It's not to convince them that having a healthy spine is going to give them a healthy body. That's not any of my intention going in. My solid number one most important intention is to build a relationship, and to build a genuine relationship. That creates openness, that creates trust. And when people feel open, right? When people feel open and when they trust you, they are going to feel comfortable telling you all kinds of things about themselves, probably even more things than you even wanted to know. So let's put it to you this way. If you have one of those problems where you feel like every single patient wants to tell you everything about themselves, that's actually a good problem to have. That means that they feel comfortable with you. That means that you've built a rapport with them. That means that they feel secure and they feel safe to tell you their greatest desires, to tell you who they really are on the inside and out. And so a couple of different ways to build rapport with patients, you've heard of some of these before, is pace and lead, right? What does that mean? That means if you have a really fast talker, you don't want to come in talking really slow, because that's going to be really annoying for fast talkers. That was so annoying just doing that for me. And if you really have a slow talker, you don't want to come and be a really fast talker. Why? Because people who are slow talkers, well, they sometimes perceive fast talkers as people who are sly, or people that are trying to get things by them. And they're really not. They're just fast talkers, right? So you want to pace and lead, you want to mirror and match, right? And so you don't want to be weird about this, but you want to match their body language. So if somebody has their legs crossed, I either cross my legs, or I cross my arms or my wrists. I lay them on my lap or something like that. If somebody's like this, I might like gradually, put my hand up under my chin like this, something like that. So that is mirror and match. You want to acknowledge and you want to appreciate them, right? So when you acknowledge that somebody did something well, like taking the time out of their busy schedule to make it on time to your appointment so you can check them out, that's something that you want to acknowledge and appreciate about that person, and let them know that, like, hey, you know what? This was a really important step that you just made in the transformation of your health and the transformation of your life. And we just want to let you know, like, hey, congratulations for doing that. We're really proud of you, right? And so that helps to build rapport and confidence. If you build enough of connection and trust, the patient will tell you everything. And so one of my mentors, who I absolutely adore, told me one thing once, and it made so much sense to me. And he said, just be curious. Just be curious about the patient. When they tell you something, if just be curious to know more about it. Just be curious to know, why would somebody say that? Just be curious to know, why is that a belief system? Where did you hear that before? Who told you that? How is that working out for you? Are you being successful doing it this way? Right? I ask all kinds of questions in my consultation. So like I want to know things about my person. Like within my consultation, I'll just build it into my consultation, like asking them, well, what do you do for a living? And how did you get into that? I might say, like, did somebody get you into that? Did you have a mentor that you looked up to that that made you interested in that field or something like that. And then what I'm always trying to do is when I know what somebody does for a living, many times their occupation kind of many times, not all the time, but sometimes it aligns with their life's purpose, right? And so I just had a patient yesterday. She came in as a new patient, came in for her day 2 today, and what she does is she works with children who have special needs, and she goes into people's homes and she does early intervention with these students. And I could tell just by that one little question, what do you do for a living, that opened up a whole can of worms of me better understanding who she is, how she makes decisions, what's important to her, what fulfills her, what drives her. Why is that important? Because I need to know all of those things so that I can show her how I can solve a problem for her that she can't solve on her own, to help support her life as as a therapist, right? To support her purpose in her life, right? I don't want to distract from it. I don't want to take away from it, but I want my program to be able to support that, right? And now, just by asking that one simple question, I know what drives her. I know what motivates her. And if I know what motivates somebody, then I can influence them and move them to purchase my product and to purchase my service, which what they're really purchasing though is their transformation. So, you guys, listen, I know we only got through 3 of the 4 steps today. I'm going to cut it off with that because I want you to go back and I want you to listen to this recording a couple of times. There's so much juice and nuggets in this recording. It is unbelievable. And next week, next Wednesday workshop, we are going to unpack the next 3 or 4 steps. So be ready, be on your toes, and please make sure that you comment if you love this stuff. Let me know that you guys are out there listening and that I'm not just talking to the airwaves by myself. All right, guys, peace, love, abundance. I will see you all next week.